I believe that everyone knows who Julia Roberts is, unless someone has been living under a rock, but how much do you know about her niece Emma? Did you know that her dad, Eric Roberts, claims that neither she nor her aunt Julia would have made it in Hollywood if it wasn't for him? Why is it so? Well, stay with us to find out why Emma Roberts is an example that sometimes children repeat their parents' behavior. I mean, look at her ex, Evan Peters. You have no idea what I'm talking about? Then let's get into this video and find out. I obviously know who Julia Roberts is, and maybe it's not because I like how she acts or how she looks, but because her filmography is impressive. She's played in more than 50 movies and has a long list of appearances in various TV shows, which is not really surprising to anyone. So I know her mainly for her movies, and believe me when I say that before this video, I had no idea who her niece Emma Roberts was. And I'm not here to judge anyone, so if you're like me, here's some info about Emma's background. Her full name is Emma Rose Roberts, and she was born on February 10, 1991 in Rhinebeck, New York, to Kelly Cunningham and Eric Roberts, Julia's brother. However, not long after she was born, her parents split because of accusations of domestic violence against her dad. In fact, after the abuse accusations came into the light, Julia's brother publicly announced that he had a drug problem. Aunt Julia showed her big heart after Emma's parents separated. Not only did she turn her back on her abusive brother and took the side of her former sister-in-law Kelly in the fight for the custody of her niece, but she also bought a house so that both Emma and Kelly could live in peace. That angered Eric so much that he cut ties not only with Julia but also his daughter. The award for Best Dad definitely won't be his. Anyway, in 1992, Eric got married again, this time to Eliza Roberts. But only 3 years after that, in 1995, he was arrested. Guess why? Well, it turns out that he did his thing again, and I'm not even going to talk about what he did to his wife because such terrible actions don't deserve to be talked about. What is the most ridiculous and wrong thing is that this man avoided jail. Instead of getting his punishment behind bars, he was released on $50,000 bail. Well, this case definitely isn't an example of how violent criminals should be punished. Anyway, the last thing about this man is that sometime later he said in an interview that neither his sister Julia nor his daughter Emma would have been someone in the movie industry if it wasn't for him. Alright, whatever you say, Eric. Better let's move on to nicer things. And contrary to what Eric said, the truth is that Emma owes her interest in acting mainly to her Aunt Julia. That's because, despite the fact that Emma's mother Kelly didn't want her to become an actress, when little Emma accompanied Julia to the movie sets, she couldn't help but feel fascinated and really wanted to be like her aunt. Because of that, after attending the Archer School for Girls in LA and then the Sarah Lawrence College, she finally decided to drop out to fully focus on her career as an actress. Thanks to her unquestioned talent and charisma, she debuted on the screen when she was just 10 years old, and she didn't do it in just any movie. Emma appeared in the movie Blow in 2001, alongside none other than Johnny Depp and the beautiful Spanish actress Penelope Cruz. If you've already seen this movie, you will know that it's far from being a production that is suitable for children. Well, the fact that it's rated R says it all. For that reason, Emma's mother decided that her daughter wouldn't watch it until she turns 18. However, the director, Ted Demme, made a clean version, almost Disney style, so that little Emma could watch it. Isn't that the sweetest gesture? But when did Emma Roberts' career really take off? Her breakthrough came when she had the opportunity to appear in the Nickelodeon series Unfabulous in 2004. Her performance in that successful production, in addition to bringing her international fame when she was just 13 years old, also brought her many awards and nominations. Among them, she won a Teen Choice and a Young Artist Award. Well, Unfabulous was so successful that in 2005, Emma also tried her luck in the musical field, when the production team of the Nickelodeon series released the album Unfabulous and More, and the actress wrote some of the songs and appeared in a few music videos. Then, in 2010, something that all the Julia and Emma Roberts fans had been waiting for finally happened. That's when Julia and Emma finally had the opportunity to share a film set while working on the movie Valentine's Day. Unfortunately for some, it was a great disappointment, not only because of the terrible reviews that the film got, but also because Julia and Emma shared only the movie set. They didn't have any scenes together. And now we've arrived at the most important point of the video, which is the scandals. Well, let me tell you what I found out while doing my research. So, it's been rumored that Emma is to blame for the breakup between the actors Rachel Bilson and Hayden Christensen. According to a lot of sources, in 2017, Bilson found several text messages exchanged between her now ex-partner and Emma, which led her to believe that they were having an inappropriate relationship. Apparently, this is why Rachel and Hayden split up after 10 years, despite having a daughter together. Emma's own relationships also don't go very smoothly. Probably her most famous one is the stormy and passionate love affair that she had with actor Evan Peters, which started in 2012 and lasted until the beginning of 2019. If you think I was exaggerating when I said that it was stormy, do you remember how at the beginning I told you that Emma was an example that sometimes children follow their parents' behavior? And do you remember what her father did? Well, consciously or not, the actress has the same issues as her dad. But before I tell you about it, let's briefly review how Emma's relationship with Evan Peters started. By the way, if you still aren't familiar with who Evan is, or if you aren't a fan of the series American Horror Story, this guy is the charismatic son of Magneto, Quicksilver from the X-Men movies. Now that you know more about him, let me tell you about the relationship. I've already told you that this pair of lovebirds started dating in 2012 after they worked together on the film Adult World. But very soon it became obvious that the thing would not end as well as the fans wanted it to, because almost immediately, the media started to report that the couple had arguments all the time. Somehow, they always managed to fix their differences and get back together. However, as it often happens, what starts badly ends badly. After Emma and Evan were seen arguing in public a few times, that stormy relationship finally ended in Montreal, Canada. After that, Emma wanted to hide everything by saying that it was nothing but a huge misunderstanding. Well, if you don't know what I'm talking about, let's go back to the part where I told you that, consciously or unconsciously, Miss Roberts had the tendency to repeat some of her dad's behavior patterns. This is all because in 2013, the guests of the hotel where Emma and Evan were staying reported that the couple had a massive fight. According to witnesses, Emma's behavior was rather wild and she allegedly left Evan with bruises on his body and a bloody nose. Despite all that, the actor apparently didn't want to press charges. Do you see why I told you that their love was passionate? Nah, but seriously, the couple eventually fixed their problems and got engaged in March 2014. But from that moment on, it was a story of never-ending breakups and getting back together. And finally, earlier this year, they decided to end their toxic relationship for good. Currently, according to many sources, Emma is dating the actor Garrett Hedlund and continues to star in the series American Horror Story. By the way, the series is already on its 9th season and recently celebrated the 100th episode with a massive Halloween party. And before we get into that and the drama that went down during that party, I'm gonna tell you about Emma's new man because their relationship is getting serious. The first reports about Emma and Garrett dating appeared in March after they had been spending time together in various social settings before things turned romantic. They started going on casual dates, and back then they were planning on taking things slow. They prefer to keep things rather private, so there haven't been any sightings of these two together. They didn't even make an official red carpet appearance, and they never made things Instagram official. They like to go on hikes and spend time bowling though. And it looks like Emma's mom approves of the relationship. It's because recently the actors went out for lunch and her mom, Kelly Cunningham, was with them. She and Garrett even gave each other a hug when they were leaving. And don't tell me that dinners with the parents aren't a big deal, especially that Emma's father is Julia Roberts' brother. By the way, Garrett Hedlund is an actor too, so he fit perfectly into the family. He started in Friday Night Lights, Aragon, Country Strong, and recently in Triple Frontier. This guy can also sing. He even featured on the soundtrack to the movie Country Strong, and his duet with Leighton Meester charted on the Billboard Hot 100. Alright, now back to that Halloween party that celebrated the 100th episode of American Horror Story. According to People magazine, Emma had a quite awkward and unpleasant time because her ex-boyfriend Evan came with his new girlfriend Halsey, and they were sitting right at the table next to Emma. Well, that situation was already awkward, but that wasn't the worst of the night. It turns out that, and I don't know if it was with the pure intention to completely ruin Emma's night, or if it was an honest thing, but the couple wouldn't stop showing their affection towards each other right in front of Emma's eyes. Geez guys, what is happening? Are they really so in love that they simply can't keep their hands to themselves? What do you think, guys? Do you think that Evan and Halsey had been acting like that just to give Emma Roberts a hard time? How do you think Emma's new relationship will develop? Do you believe that she inherited the abusive behavior from her dad? Let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with CurioSips. Until next time.